Alec, you did a really good story about how LSU partnered with a German-based company called Cognalize, which apparently is a VR headset that allows quarterbacks to put this thing on and simulate actual games. And, LSU seems to swear by it, and it seems like it's had a pretty impactful situation for Jayden Daniels' development as he, might win the Heisman this weekend. What is this story, and how did LSU find it?
Yeah, so Jack Marucci, who used to be LSU's trainer, like that was his title, athletic trainer, and he's also the founder of Marucci Sports, which is the bat company that a lot of people know about, was elevated a couple years ago into this title where it's director of innovation. And he essentially, his job is to like filter through as many potential opportunities to be able to, I don't know, help players develop and help them grow. And for a long time, he's been fascinated by the cognitive space and neuroscience as it relates to on-field, football field decision-making for quarterbacks, for other positions. And he's long wanted to be able to like simulate the real thing in a way that is better maybe and maybe an addendum to what they do in practice. And so he's fielded, I'd say, inquiries from a lot of companies over time. And this German-based company developed beginning in 2019 in the soccer space. He got connected with beginning this season in the spring. And really, they beta tested this product and kind of built it out throughout the season. Jayden first started using the product in the week leading up to Mississippi State game, and he swears by it helping him make decisions and kind of prepare himself for these games on Saturdays. And so, yeah, it's fascinating. I'm sure I could maybe dig into it a little bit more, but it's the best way I know to describe it from talking to the founders and Jack Marucci is imagine as if you are placed at the quarterback position in the middle of a video game, and your vantage point is the quarterback, and the players around you are moving like real live people would be on a field. So it's pretty fascascinating.
It's Wii tennis is what that is. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Jayden is got himself well positioned to win the Heisman Trophy this year. LSU's had some pretty good success with quarterbacks doing that. But when you look at his game, Alec, where was it most affected by using Cognalize and having this be a part of what he did to prepare for games?
Yeah, so Joe Sloan, LSU's quarterback coach, said to me, he's like, Jayden for years has been like an above average thrower of the football. And this year he was just at the elite level that you guys know more than I, because you guys watch college football more than I do. But I mean, his downfield accuracy, some of the downfield throwing rates. I mean, I went through some of the metrics against different coverages and just in general, and it is as high level as you're going to see. It doesn't really make much sense. And so speaking to Jack and other people in that building, such as Joe Sloan, the quarterback's coach, asking them how the product helped Jayden, essentially what they're able to do is place you and simulate the game at a speed that is faster than what you see on Saturdays. So he has to go through his reads and process things faster to when he gets to the game on Saturday. It's almost a slower type moving. I mean, things are moving around him slower than it would be when he's wearing this device. And really what Cognalize is not the VR headset in general. It's the technology that is funneled through the VR headset. And so they were really able to integrate LSU's entire playbook. So what Jayden sees in the headset is what LSU's players run on the field, and the defenses that they face that week are moving around in the coverage ways that they move around on Saturday. I don't know if that makes a ton of sense to you, but essentially he was like playing the game before he played the game at a speed that was faster than what he would see in a game. And so it just, I think, it developed his ability to scan his eyes across the field and find receivers in certain spots.
The robots are coming for us, guys. Like we're doomed. I've seen enough AI movies to know how this story ends. I mean, that's pretty crazy when you think about how it's not just like, I remember back when I was covering Ohio State like 7 or 8 years ago, they had this thing where like lights would pop up and like you'd have to like hit the lights. I don't remember what that was called, but it was like a way to like increase your cognitive ability and your hand-eye coordination. And like this is incredible because it's not just a game, but also integrating the actual plays that you run. Is that kind of how it works to the best of your like knowledge of like, not only are you in this AI world or whatever, or this fictional world, you're also running the same exact stuff that you're actually going to run.
Exactly. So LSU's staff would take the play sheet that they would get every single week and on multiple days, and they would funnel that play sheet to the founders in Germany of Cognilyze, who would then integrate those plays into the technology, so that on the Wednesday before a game, there would be certain plays they would be using that week that Jayden would now be seeing and visualizing, and they would change every week depending on who they were playing. It was like if Mississippi State is a big cover 4 team, the defense you would see in the headset that week would be playing a lot of cover 4, and their safeties would be reacting the way they would on Saturday. And so, I mean, I was told that they kind of took this product to one of the NFL quarterbacks during the season who looked at it and was like, I mean, I would never put this down. Like it was like, in terms of how it would prepare you. The other element of it is you're not physically taxing your body. You're not having to stand in the pocket and take hits, and you're not having to use your arm to throw the football down the field 30 times in practice.
So you don't actually throw the ball while you're using it?
You don't throw the ball. No, it is just you have the VR technology headset, and then I don't know what the little I'm thinking about Wii, like you said, it's like the little
clicker. Yeah,
right. To simulate throwing the football, but you're not actually throwing the football down the field. Now, I was told that they can structure the headset to where you could literally simulate an 100-yard length field. So Jayden could theoretically take off out of the pocket and run 100 yards from the goal line if they wanted to set it up that way. But obviously, you don't have a ton of space if you're using it inside or on a 50-yard turf field.
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed to learn that in Fruit Ninja you don't actually get a samurai sword personally. So maybe soon. I think it begs the question, before we see this on season 2 of Quarterback, Alec, this version of the quarterback development, what made him wait until the Mississippi State game to use it?
Yeah, so it wasn't built out enough. So kind of the way Jack Marucci and LSU described it is when they brought it in, Cognilyze and the German founders brought it in March, and they first tried it on, like it was a AA level minor league team. And then by the time Jayden started using it, I mean, it's major league. Like they developed it that much. They integrated the play sheet. Verena and Christian, who are the co-founders of the product, knew some about football, but they didn't know that in cover 4, the safety drives down on a dig concept. And if you're trying to really simulate the game, you have to learn all of that. And then obviously on the back end, code it into the product. So Joe Sloan, the quarterback's coach, said to me, like, one of his early hesitations and worries was like that they were going to funnel it into and implement it earlier than it probably was ready. But given the work that Christian Verena and Cognilyze put in, and Jack Marucci and Mario Macaluso and people in that building, it was ready. And he used it that game, and I think went 30 of 34 that day for 361 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. And from there, you guys know, and the listeners know way more than I do. He had a year that we'll remember, probably talk about for a long time.
Joe Sloan has done a tremendous job in his development, and is a hell of a coach, and probably will be a head coach one day. So, Dave, is there anything else? I mean, I did kind of tense up a little bit when he said that they send the plays in advance, because I didn't know if there was a way to intercept those, computer crimes and play signal stealing. Yeah, I was going to say.
I will tell you, from what I know, there's like an NDA between, it is that high level. They thought about this that integrally.
I mean, there is a sign stealing scandal in the sport right now. So shipping your plays over to Germany.
International scandal. I like it. Somehow, Ari, Jayden Daniels took the lead. He's probably going to win the Heisman Trophy, and my LSU will win the national championship. If you told me that, and you told me that my LSU will win the national championship, that's what a season. What a season.
It's just a shame that it happened after the Florida State loss at the beginning of the year, because then, they might have been in a situation where they could have won a little bit bigger. But the 3 losses, obviously in the opener and then to Ole Miss, a few weeks after the Mississippi State game, they still split up almost 50 points in that game.
You want to talk about butterfly effect? If these German engineers maybe had been faster, then none of this Florida State issue happens.
It's true.
You never, I mean, that's you just never know the factors at play. Honestly, I hadn't thought about that until it was funny though. Throughout the reporting, you hear that they would stay up. Like the German engine, the founders of Cognalize pulled like 36-hour work. I mean, they were like all in with LSU. And really they credited Jayden for even being willing to like try on this head and go through this process. And so I don't know. It'll be fascinating to see if it catches on with other players. I mean, I'll be very interested to see where it goes from here, but pretty interesting.
Yeah, I need to Cognalize for like when I'm at the drive-through window, figure out like which number to order. But thanks so much, Alec, for coming on the show. And Alec, appreciate you being on here. And of course, a reminder too that this was a story of innovation and change brought to you by Invesco QQQ. Appreciate it.